Alright, ladies and gents, Ngati Gamer here, back with another video. So today we're going to be going through obviously our Zenless Zone 0 1.2 version 1.2 patch. Some things I really want to talk about. The game is actually looking to be really good. I've seen snippets of it on YouTube on obviously what they have to offer in terms of even the general kind of quality of life changes that even I'm surprised that they were going to be making early on in this patch, which I'm very like excited about as well. It kind of makes things in a way that you can create an account and kind of flip through everything as quickly as possible, and there's a lot that they've added as well that makes the game sort of just way better than usual in terms of just general gameplay, quality of life, and even new characters, new bosses, and it just all looks overall cool, new gameplay and so on and so forth. So with that said, let's get into the video. Let's go into the nitty-gritty. We're not going to make this as long as possible, just going to go through the specific things that we are going to be obviously talking about. So starting off, obviously we have a new set of characters, 2 S-rank characters specifically, who are going to be part of the team as well. One of them is Caesar King, who is basically the leader of the Sons of Caledon, and what she does basically is that she's more of a parry counter, or rather a defense unit, and she has a unique playstyle where she kind of gives buffs to the allied team, and then also additionally she adds this sort of mechanic that enables this I'd say like it's like a I don't know how to explain this, but basically she makes you go invulnerable. Her shield basically makes you uninterruptible, so even when enemies attack, like they don't really, you know, stop your attack action and stuff. Obviously she also increases the attack of most characters, as you can see, and that's pretty much majority of it. Obviously a special is a special. Ultimate is always going to be looking good, but I mean, look at that environment. This is a completely new kind of like view from the general city landscape, and I feel it's so unique because it kind of shows even where most of the other world is specifically in terms of what's going on in this universe here. But yeah, we have Caesar King as the new sort of S-rank character. She's on the first phase, and then on the second phase we're going to be having Bernice White. She's going to be an anomaly character, fire anomaly character. Now obviously a lot of people, I think from my perspective, if you are planning to obviously summon for this character, I would suggest actually summoning for her if you got a Jane Doe in your account, because one of the unique traits of Jane Doe is that as long as you have another anomaly character in the team, majority of her damage and passive does work quite well. And obviously a lot of people do like Grace, and I do agree Grace is a really good unit, but obviously this is a gacha game. The more characters come out, the more power creep there is. I'm not saying there's going to be a big power creep, but obviously this is also our first not nihility I was going to say nihility, our first anomaly fire damaging unit. And obviously you know, knowing fire anomaly characters, or rather anomaly characters, the build-up rate, especially with the removal of Jane Doe, is going to be very unique and very substantial towards any account that is playing. I mean, I look at the animation. She has this thing where she basically can launch her ultimate, and then it gives you an assist option to be able to play another character that is able to obviously build up the anomaly, such as in this case Jane Doe. And that's pretty much it. Those are the 2 characters that are coming out, and I'm actually pretty excited for this because I don't know whether I'll be summoning for the characters, probably Bernice for my Jane Doe account, and that's pretty much it. We are also going to be getting obviously their their W engines here, which is Tusks of Fury. I'm guessing it's just a defense unit kind of W engine, probably add some shield or defensive assists to specifically a kit, and then obviously Flamemaker Shaker, which is Bernice's W engine. I'm guessing just the amount of being able to build up anomaly faster towards enemy units, but she's thick. And then obviously again, by the way, I forgot, we're going to be getting a new Bang Boo, who basically rides like a motorcycle, and I was actually surprised about that. So obviously with this new patch, we are going to be getting as well new events, specifically like the ones that usually give you like polychromes. So for all the free-to-play players, we are going to be getting some new things, new ways to get all the obviously polychromes, which I think is quite important for any account, specifically because getting polychromes, especially as a free-to-play, is very substantial, because obviously whales and dolphins can spend like maybe one or twice, or maybe once a month on the general kind of kit or general polychrome pack. But obviously for free-to-play players such as us, you know, we have to basically get what we can get, and we're getting a free loosey as well, so obviously I think that's good. We have another event. It's called Bizarre Brigade. So no, this is actually very unique. So the way this game is working is that they're giving such like different ways for us to play like this arcade games, because realistically this can even just be put as its own game entirely, like literally its own game entirely. And I'm thinking, like, how much more does Hoyoverse plan to basically improve as a game and make it look, you know, this good? And I'm like, this is very, very nice for a game, to be honest. Being able to play this type of arcade game, which is part of a general big game on its own, I think is very unique. And then obviously we have Roaming the Ether, another event as well. We're getting a lot of polychromes. Just know that we're getting a lot of polychromes that will enable us to play games as much as possible and enjoy. Is it me, or can I see a mouse right there? Right there, I can see a mouse right there. But yeah, we're getting obviously different events. Obviously, as you can see, kind of like a TV, I think killing the sharks or whatever these things are. But yeah, basically what it is that a lot of polychromes, a lot of things. And then obviously we have an event as well with a dog. I don't know what this is specifically, but I think we're going to be getting like a whole day-to-day sort of thing where we do a puzzle or whatever, and then he gives us like so we do like a puzzle or whatever, and then he gives us like a small bit of like polychromes to obviously just manage our day-to-day basis. But basically the game is looking to be really good, and I think it's actually really good. We're getting so many events, to be honest, in 1.3. I'm very surprised. Majority of the time we usually have only like 2 to 4 events, if I'm not wrong. So on the first phase you have like maybe one event, and then on the second phase you have another event on top of everything that's happening, right? But this looks like we're having about like 2 to 6, I think 4 to 6 events. I mean, look at that, Phantom Hunt as well. So yeah, that's it's pretty much it. We're going to be obviously getting a new way to also we're getting a new boss, by the way, like some new, oh my god, I was like, god damn, since when? Yeah, and you can see that's the bamboo. We're getting 2 new drive discs. One obviously for, let me just pause here. So we're getting 2 new drive discs, and this I think mostly just falls upon, so this is definitely going to be for Caesar. Shield plus 15% when any squad member triggers a defensive assist or evasive assist. All squad members deal 15% increased damage lasting for 10 seconds. This I think is going to be really good for Bernice. Also what we have currently is also really good, but I feel that anomaly proficiency by 30%, I think this is going to be a very good drive disc, because currently we can either choose between the general anomaly and the general kind of attribute damage for a character, but this having fire and electric damage is increased by 15%. When off field, damage dealt by the EX special attack and assist attacks is increased by 20%. When the character switches back onto the field, this buff continues for 5 seconds. And this really plays well specifically with Bernice, over the fact that you can play her ultimate and immediately switch over, or she gives you a switch over to the next character, which I think is actually very good. Oh yeah, so now we are getting a sort of quality of life change to the Holo Zero thing as well. Holo Zero or pit part. Instead of going through the TV section, you can basically just be beating enemies, and then after you're done beating the enemies, you actually get the buffs that you can select to then obviously get whatever you need, which I think is very good and very fast, because it enables you to basically, you know, get more out of this whole issue. And then one important thing I actually noticed is that you can actually add debuffs that add the points that you will be able to kind of allocate and finish at the end of the run. So instead of doing it 2 times, you know, you can actually do it like, I think now maybe 1 time in one go, finish everything and get done. We're getting obviously 10 a whole 10 pull obviously from the polychrome, and then obviously a 10 pull for the bamboos as well, which I think is actually very nice. I mean, they're doing their job. That's what I'll say. They're doing the job. So we're getting this new feature which allows basically, if you're not able to finish off the general kind of view on majority of the missions, the exploration missions, you can kind of go through and just do like a commission sleep where you wait 15 minutes and then get it done to collect whatever was left. And then obviously the Holo Zero exploration as well has been upped up, so it's a bit faster than usual. This is something that was actually very bad. And then one of the important things, they've added a backup battery, so whatever you do not use for the day will then be increased, and then this basically this is what Honkai Star Rail has, but now in this case you have like times 80, which I think is extremely good. But this is for the battery pack, this is not for I was like, what in the hell, are you being serious? But then anyway, now you can also choose squads as well, being able to kind of allocate squads, specific squads for a team, instead of basically choosing, or rather going for whatever mission that you want to go for and then, you know, having to go through the process of picking a team. This is going to be the optimal team. And actually, you know what, as they're actually showing this is actually the perfect example of a Jane Doe team. So you have your Jane Doe, you have your Bernice, and then you have your Lucy. This is basically the perfect example of a Jane Doe team. Yeah, we're also actually even getting this unique feature where we're basically going to be able to switch characters, from what I understand. So obviously when you're roaming around, you're just chilling in the obviously zone or wherever you are, you can actually switch the character. But I think it's in this case it's going to be only specific to the character's kind of story. Well, not story per se, but kind of area, you know, like in this case, this is the area for the Sons of Caledon. So this is going to be the only units you can switch. And then obviously another thing that I noticed is that you can now change the time period, which is something that I think most people really wanted to be done specifically, which was, it was really bogging at times specifically, because majority of the time you could you had to sort of either do a quest and then change the time. But now this time you can kind of just go directly to that specific point in time. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The game 1.2 is looking to be something out of actually a lot that is being changed, that is quite good in terms of the actual benefit of the game. There's a lot of quality of life changes that are being brought towards obviously just making the player base more happy and more like enlightened in terms of playing the game. And you know what, I am so for it. This game, Hoyoverse, is doing an amazing job. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the 1.2 update, general kind of update. And if you like the video, hit that like and subscribe, and I will see you